Good morning, friends. We are down in my pantry. It is a hot mess. I am currently trying to organize slash clean slash donate all of the above, plus I'm taking inventory. We are at the end of January. This needs to be done. And this is the last room. Well, actually, it's 2 rooms, but it's the last room that has yet to be done since we've moved. So there's still a lot of boxes in here. There's bags in here. And like I said, like all this is Goodwill, Salvation Army. Like there's a lot of stuff that still needs done. But I wanted to bring you this video on how I'm setting up my pantry because there's a mouse issue. And a lot of people get, oh, they have mice, they have a dirty house. No, mice don't discriminate. It can be the cleanest house in the world and you could still have mice. So with that being said, I wanted to share with you how I'm setting up my pantry to combat that, to protect my food, because this is something that I have dealt with in the past, and I have had that heartbreaking moment when you see that your food is being eaten by someone other than you. Now, some of the things that I'm going to show you, you can also use for like ants or roaches or whatever issue you're trying to deal with or prevent from potentially happening. But mainly we're going to be talking about just mice problems and just how I'm setting up my pantry. So hope you stick around and we'll dive right in. The number one thing that you can do to help deter mice from coming into your pantry, because you have food in here, they're going to want to get to the food, especially if you have stuff that's in bags or cardboard boxes or like boxed pasta. Or if you're storing stuff, like right there is a jar box. I have a couple boxes over here that are holding canned goods. We use them all the time to help stack our jars. However, mice love cardboard. So if you have cardboard in your pantry, if you don't have a mouse problem, it can help attract them. If you do have a mouse problem, it is going to make them like run. Not only is there food, but it's their favorite thing. They chew on it, they make nests with it, they eat it. It's they love cardboard. So that's something that you would really want to take out of your pantry and replace it with something else. So in terms of stacking jars, since I do both store-bought whenever they're on sale and home canned, if I need to stack, then I'll do something such as this, so then I am able to double stack while this is still staying safe. And the whole reason we don't stack our canning jars together, and I know people do, but the whole reason you don't is because you could possibly create a false seal. So what that means is this is going to pop and it's not going to be sealed anymore. But since you have the pressure of the other jar on top, it can potentially reseal itself. And so you think it's a sealed jar, but it's not. And so then, you're most likely going to get sick because you're eating something that is spoiled. So that's just something to think about. There's other ways you can stack. You could use small pieces of wood. You could change like the way that these are so that you can fit more shelves in so that you're not needing to stack. Just different ways other than cardboard. As far as things that come in plastic and cardboard boxes and stuff like that, those, and I've talked about this in previous videos, a lot of stuff that's in bulk, I put in glass jars and then I just vacuum seal them. Flours, sugar, this is corn flour. I have dehydrated stuff, like we have potatoes right here. Anything that can fit into a half-gallon or gallon jar. I love using these. Not only do they look nice, they're easy to store, they can hold a lot, and then you don't have to worry about anything getting into them because they're glass. And I do get asked on videos about what if you live in a earthquake-prone environment. I don't, but I do live in a tornado-prone environment. So there's always going to be a risk, but I think that having my stuff in jars is a better move for me than other options. The other thing that I do with bulk goods, because if you follow me for any amount of time, you know I shop on Azure and I get a bunch of stuff in bulk. And that is using these food grade buckets. Now, I have not had to actually purchase any food grade bucket. You can go to your local bakery, and most of the time it's free. One place I go, it's free. One place it's $1 per bucket. But they're, I have 2-gallon ones, 4-gallon ones, 5-gallon ones, and they're free. And then you can fill them up with whatever you want. So I have a ton of buckets that are filled with stuff as well. Now, are they as secure as a glass jar? No, because something could potentially get into that bucket if they were determined enough, because it is just hard plastic. However, you're going to see that something is trying to get into the bucket, most likely before it actually makes it inside. Another thing that I personally am doing to combat having a mouse problem, I'm utilizing totes. So what I have done is I bought these shoebox sized totes, and there was a 40-pack. It was a great price. I bought these to help organize stuff that just isn't feasible to put in gallon jars, half-gallon jars, or buckets. So I always I do, all my cooking from scratch, as you know. However, there are times when mama gets sick. There are times when daddy wants to cook. And so having stuff on hand like this is excellent to have in your pantry. Nobody is perfect. And sometimes if I am outside all day and I forget to, have dinner prepared or prep dinner, then it's a couple boxes of cheesy rice-a-roni with a thing of canned chicken. Dinner. And it's yummy. Or a hamburger. That's another one that's actually really good with this. But I digress. Stuff like this, or like gravy packets and ranch packets. And yes, you can make all that stuff your own. I do. But I also stock up and have a nice amount on hand for just in case moments. Because again, no one's perfect. So what I am doing is, this is all rice-a-roni. So I will have this labeled rice-a-roni. So what I am going to be doing is have them on this, which all these need to go. But I'm going to have them on this shelf, and they're going to be stacked like this so that I can easily see what I have in my boxes without having to open them. And again, it's an extra layer of protection. Now, a mouse could get into that, but it's going to deter it for a time, and you can see, oh, I have a mouse. And it's just an extra layer of protection for your food so that it's not getting eaten by someone other than you. And how are we going to know that stuff is getting into our pantry? Is we are going to set it up in such a way that it is super easy to clean. That is one thing that I had an issue with, and if you look at this room, it's an issue. Is if you have so much stuff stuffed into a room that you're not able to get in and clean, you are creating an environment that is perfect for a mouse problem. Because it's going to be corners and nooks and crannies that aren't going to be touched. And so they'll build nests there, they'll hang out there and have parties. So the way that I am setting up my pantry is to make it very open and very organized so that I can easily pull out, say, 5-gallon buckets. I can pull them out once a week, sweep behind them, vacuum, sweep. This is concrete floor, so I don't need a vacuum, but sweep. And it's also good just because you're getting in, you can check your jars, make sure nothing has, no lids have popped off, seals broke, no jars have broke. You can rotate your food more easily because even though I have an extended pantry for long-term storage, I also have a working pantry. So I am constantly in here and I am making sure I'm going through stuff that needs to be gone through so that nothing gets expired and whatnot and then goes bad. Like, while, for instance, plum preserves are good for a couple years, I don't want this jar to get lost and then, 6 years from now find a jar of plum preserves, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to eat it even if it is sealed. So it's just some tips and tricks on how I'm going to be setting up my pantry, and I'll give you guys a nice tour once I'm done. It's nowhere near done stage yet though. And another thing that you can do is you can actually do things to deter the mice from the area. One thing is peppermint oil. They really do not like peppermint. So I put peppermint oil in my homemade cleaner, and then I just spray it all over. So not only am I cleaning, but I am also putting that peppermint smell all over. Mothballs is another thing you can use. They don't like mothballs. And if you find any mouse holes, you can put steel wool in them, because mice can chew through pretty much anything, but they cannot chew through steel wool. So it'll make it to where they can't use that hole anymore. And of course, if you have a mouse problem, there are tons of things that you can do to get rid of them. But those are just some different things that can work towards deterring them out of your pantry. So, like I said, this is a very impromptu, just kind of telling you that if you have a problem, there's always different ways that you can help work on the problem. Oh, a cat. That's another thing I have. We have a Mr. Shadow, and he scouts out the whole house, putting his kitty smell all over the place to push the mice away. But it's just kind of here's my messy pantry. No one's perfect. It is in the works. I can't wait to show you whenever it's all done. But I was actually pretty stoked when I thought of that idea about using the totes. And so I wanted to share it with you, because it's going to really help organize my pantry more and also keep the stuff protected, because I used to utilize the boxes all the time. I utilized the stuff from Aldi's to where I would take an entire cardboard thing of the tuna and the gravy packets and ranch packets and stuff, and then I would stick that on my shelf because it looks so cute and organized and whatever. But I don't do that anymore. So now I'm using these boxes, the plastic totes, and so far it is working fabulous. So I hope you enjoyed this impromptu. Hopefully it gave you some ideas if you are having the issue, or if you're needing a new way to set up your pantry, if you're trying to get away from cardboard. And I am here to assist. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful Monday morning, and I'm going to get back to work. Thanks for watching.